Here is why you aren't in shape. The main reason you aren't in shape is your poor diet and terrible exercise routine. I am in the best shape of my life right now, and I have been in great shape for years on end. And here is how I got in shape and stay in shape. Your diet likely consists of the processed junk foods and the sweet treats around 80% of the time. And maybe even more, 90, 100% of the time. You cannot expect to get in shape, build muscle, and be lean while eating a diet like this. The best thing you could do right now is to try eat as much as the unprocessed foods as possible. Try eat the one ingredient foods most of the time, such as the meat, the eggs, the fruit, the vegetables, the grains, etc. These foods are usually higher in protein, have better nutrients, fill you up more, and aid internal functioning. If you simply eat the whole foods 80 to 90% of the time, instead of the processed foods, like the Cheetos and the Oreos you're constantly eating, you will make a lot of progress to getting into shape. You will likely lose weight and build muscle simply by just sticking to an unprocessed whole food diet. Just a disclaimer, my full aesthetic body course is in the link in the description. It teaches you exactly how to build the aesthetic physique and get in the best shape of your life. Go check it out, link in the description. So, you aren't in shape, I am. Listen to me. I know exactly what you need to do right now, the things you need to change right now to get in the best shape of your life. The first thing is your diet. Your diet is terrible. Please stop eating the disgusting junk foods that are destroying your progress all of the time. Have them 10 to 20% of the time just to keep you sane, because if you had the unprocessed diet 100% of the time, it would feel too restrictive and you wouldn't be able to stick to it. That's what happened to me. I was sticking to an unprocessed diet 100% of the time, and it came to a point where I was restricting myself too much and I completely binged for a week straight and lost all of my progress because I was restricting myself too much. So 10% of the time, have the junk foods, have the sweet treats, enjoy yourself. But for 80, 90% of the time, you need to be eating these unprocessed foods. These foods are so good for building muscle and keeping you lean. They are so good for one, building muscle, usually because they're higher in protein. And as we know, protein is what supplements muscle growth. When you go to train, when you push yourself, when you train till failure, you're basically giving this stimulus to your muscle to grow. And then that protein that you give it is going to supplement it. It is going to make the muscle growth occur faster and at a bigger rate. So try your best to eat the whole foods as much as possible for the muscle gains it's going to bring you, because it's higher in protein, but also for the fat loss it's going to cause, or in keeping you lean, simply because whole foods are more satiating. When you think of processed foods, you could probably eat 30 Oreos, 20 Oreos, and literally not be full up at all. But that would be thousands of calories. If you had, 1,000 calories worth of chicken or potatoes or, whatever, any whole food you want, you are going to feel so full up and you're not going to overeat. Also, because these whole foods don't taste so amazing that you need to constantly eat more and more and more in the same way the processed foods do, you're less likely to, again, overeat and lose and gain all the weight. So basically, if you are trying to fit in processed foods into your diet, I understand why you would try, because you want to be eating the junk foods, they taste nice, but you need to be eating the whole foods the majority of the time, not just for your health, not just for your internal functioning, but also for your physique. My physique, I genuinely remember, my physique was always looking a little bit pudgy, not much muscle mass, even though I was working out really hard. But when I started to eat the whole foods instead of the processed foods I was eating 90% of the time, my physique literally got 3 times better. I didn't train any harder. I didn't do anything else like that. I just got higher protein in because I'm eating the whole foods, which are usually higher in protein. And on top of that, I was getting more nutrients to my muscles, to my body, and I was feeling more satiated. So I was eating less and I was actually losing fat at the same time. So if you aren't someone who likes to track their calories, the best way to get leaner and build muscle is literally just sticking to them whole foods. Because you're eating, the high protein whole foods, you're going to feel full up throughout the day. You're less likely to overeat, and you're basically going to lose weight without really having to do much. That's a bit of a easy way to lose weight without having to do all the strategy of tracking your calories, etc. Now listen, another reason you aren't in shape is your training is terrible. So we spoke about your diet. That can be improved really easily. In a week, you could improve it. The way to improve it, you're not going to be able to just go from 100% processed food diet to a 90-80% unprocessed food diet in one day. What you have to do is you progressively overload like you would in the gym. So what you have to do is, say for example, you are having 5 meals a day and all of them are processed foods. How about tomorrow you just have 4 meals a day that are processed, 1 meal that is unprocessed. Then the next day, maybe have 3 meals that are processed, 1 that is unprocessed, and carry on like that until you've basically got rid of all the processed foods throughout the day and you were just eating the unprocessed foods. You can't just break the habit in just one day. You need to kind of scale up to it over time because you're not at that mental capacity yet, that mental state to be able to just go cold turkey from the processed foods. You need to kind of build up to it. Now, your training, why is it stopping you from getting in shape? Well, you are not training properly. So many people I see in the gym train like pussies. They won't train till failure. They aren't a little bit out of breath from their sets at all. And they just aren't getting in shape because they don't train hard enough. They train to mild discomfort. When I train in the gym, my face is like grimacing with pain. It's really, really trying to get that last rep up. I'm really putting the effort in. If you see some people, it's just la-di-da-di-da, smiling, looking around while they're doing their set. No, you're not going to make progress that way. You need to be putting a meaningful stimulus to your muscles, okay? You can't just be doing an easy weight, 25 reps, never going till failure. You're never going to build muscle that way. You need a hard set, 10 reps. On the last rep, you are struggling to get up and you finally get up. You go slow on the way down and you try one more and you can't get it up. That is a good set. That is a set till failure. That is a set that is going to build you muscle. And then when you get home, when you recover, when you rest, when you give that protein, you're going to be building muscle. Another quick reason you are probably out of shape is actually your sleep. So many people neglect sleep when it comes to losing weight and building muscle. Sleep is the cornerstone to all of this. Obviously, training is very important. Nutrition is very important. Sleep is where you produce testosterone. Testosterone is what builds you muscle and keeps you lean. So we want to be producing as much testosterone as possible. We want to be recovering as much as we possibly can. Sleep. Get around 8 hours a night if you can. If you get 7 hours, that's still good. If you can get more than that, that's good. But kind of stay in the 7 to 9 hours range. You'll be completely golden. That is so important for muscle building and staying lean. Studies have shown that people who sleep longer simply lose more weight and gain more muscle. So try your best to get as high quality sleep as you possibly can and sleep for as long as you possibly can, just because of the benefits it comes with and because it's really easy. You're not really doing anything, you're just sleeping, and you're going to be gaining all of these benefits from not really doing anything at all. My full aesthetic body course is in the link in the description. It teaches you exactly how to build the aesthetic physique and get in the best shape of your life. Go check it out, link in the description.